often jokes that the spaghetti falls out of your pocket. It's like you just start, you know, one thing after another, and keeping that from happening is what's going to save you in a lot of brackets.
And we get to see from our Pac-Man duology, we get a Fire Emblem finale, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, this is not our last match on stream, but it's gonna be Haven and Dozen with the Byleth, and Haven's kind of minted Corrin now.
Yeah.
They've been playing this character for a while, and it's impressed every time.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I always thought the character was like alright, but having seen a lot of like Haven's play and like the fact that he's able to beat a lot of like, you know, the strong players in one of the strongest regions, I'm like, okay, you know, maybe it's worth taking that second look, because as we saw earlier, like this character has some very, very creative combos, and they do a good amount of percent. Like, there's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, Corrin is kind of the inverse of that just good at everything, like all around type of character, or like they don't have anything that's like especially crazy. Like Pin is significantly reduced from how it was in Smash 4, but they still have a big sword and good buttons with a decent combo game. That's all you really need to have a good kit, or at the very least a workable one. And with a list full of playables, any good player can make it work. Though the range of Byleth is going to be a little bit trickier, especially with the reduction of the FAF on the aerial side B.
Yeah.
Like, getting in on Byleth is going to be tricky, and the forward air takes a stop.
Yeah, side B is one of those moves that's like, I feel like pretty much solely designed to whiff punish. Where it's a very long range move that like heavily rewards you for being at that perfect spacing. But speaking of these perfect spacing, I really love how Dozen has been using those wave bounce neutral Bs and auto canceling them, as well as using the ground to interrupt it. So that way he, you know, they can space around Haven. But yeah, I always like to joke that, you know, that move at higher percents is go-go gadget, put yourself in disadvantage. It's even with the phenomenal, you know, waveland onto the platform, couldn't quite do it. But things that will work is like a great out smash onto that platform.
And Dozen is really showing off, like, hey, don't take me to this stage. I've got a lot of tricks with these platforms, but the falling fair into the quick turnaround bear, not going to kill quite yet, but stuff like that is going to be huge, as Dozen keeps trying to mix around with the up B movement. Still not killing yet. Corrin's up air, a decent at killing, but not so much at like really early percents.
Yeah. Especially on a stage as huge as that, but hits him with the shield chungus, just keeping him in there. And one of the few moves that you actually, so when you get hit after 11 hits on your shield, you can always air to roll. But some moves, like, due to their hitboxes, you kind of can't, because you won't get like the extra added intangibility. It will still hit you through the extra roll invincibility that you get on your shield when you do that 11 frame roll. The 11 hit roll, sorry.
Yeah, just having a repeating hitbox versus a just adding on top of new hitboxes is a little bit different compared to the multi-jab rule. But hey, Haven's starting to slowly bring this back. After getting away with the T neutral getup, he's not going to let Dozen get away with hanging on ledge, just kind of like turning the brain off. I was like, all right, what do I do here? Die.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was extremely intelligent on Haven's part, because what he did last time is, you even brought this up, that like Dozen was playing around the ledge. He would intentionally make the up B hit the actual physical stage so that we'd pop up a little bit. But Haven did a couple of short hops because he's like, he was trying to say, hey, look, I'm looking for a jump. I'm looking for a neutral get-up attack. And then he dashed back and go. He dashed back to try to get the roll get up, but you know, Dozen, being a step ahead of even Haven, was able to get that side B the first time. But the second time, Haven knew that, like, oh, he's gonna play around the ledge. So let me just wait and react. And very good stuff to Haven. I almost said to Corrin. Corrin is not playing the game. At least we don't know.
He's controlled by Fire Emblem Fate's protagonist, Corrin Fire Emblem.
After you win, I did a good result on Twitter.
Yeah, okay. Dozen kind of getting a little bit predictable with their ledge play attempts. Most of the time, they just end up charging S smash, which loses to waiting. And that's exactly what Haven's been doing. Capitalizing on these little habits is huge for two characters that end up playing a lot of neutral, whether just because they're not quick enough to fully maintain advantage or their combos end rather early.
Yeah.
Either way, it's relatively even huge trade for Dozen because it gets him back into a spot where he owns center stage. He even gets away with a pin. That was a risky one, but hey, he's still alive, so...
Oh, nice use of the failed one out of the corner. Able to just barely catch Haven's back air attempt. Yep, the player at the ledge, good stuff to Dozen, but very risky grab. And that's the thing is, like, when you're in these high-pressure scenarios, it's like, sometimes just, you know, you gotta do the KISS strategies. Keep it simple, stupid. It's like, just play it safe. You know, both players, most of the time, are at least a little bit nervous, even if they're not showing it in their play. Eventually, you can kind of just, especially these defensive characters, as you said, that are looking for like frame traps, is you can just wait for them to, you know, for your opponent to make the first move.
Yeah, especially given how Haven has been playing this second stock. He gets caught by a falling up air, but it's on Dozen to make those risks and make those plays. Haven can rely on some of his really safe aerials like that falling fair or some of these back airs, which Corrin's back air is still completely ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And calling out the extra charge with the early jump and is rewarded for it with the stock. Very nice, Haven. Very nice.
Yes, definitely a mechanic I'm not a fan of, but really helps her out. And actually, when you pin into the ground, it counts as hitting something. So whenever you hit something, it extends your hitbox. Some matchups is very important. And so Haven really abusing it at ledge, knowing that he'll extend the tip or hitbox of his side B to catch the very beginning of the unintangibility frame.
Snapping back to ledge, man. Haven.
Back here, and that does only work. Actually, you can get that on DI out, but it's much more specific. But it's a very good read. Like if you know someone's like DI in, they don't want to die, or they're in their mind like, I want center stage, I want center stage, I want center stage. It's one of those things that's really good at punishing those kind of one track mindsets.
On top of the fact that Haven was already prepared to try and go for the kill in that spot. They were already facing backwards. I mean, take a look here. You get the falling up air. They turn around and go for the neutral air. So they were already like, all right, if I land this nair, the back air is immediately coming out, and I'll try to react and like try and hit confirm it. But man, Haven just looked so strong in that game too because they were so prepared for Dozen's kind of little tricks and traps that had worked in game one, but they didn't get a chance to even use them in game two. So many less up B snags, so many less chances for him to go for the attachments onto stage off ledge and like get back to neutral for free. Like there was just so much more that Haven was playing around. Like he stopped covering jump because he knew that Dozen wasn't going to do it. So he stayed grounded, used those big aerials, and made it work into a 2-0 win.
Yeah,